Hi students, welcome to Sunil's tutorial. I'm Sunil Mirwani and today we'll be doing this chapter called as internal reco. We are doing illustration 6 today. Illustration 6 in the books of Sandeep Limited. Journal. Right, let's see the sum guys. They said that preference dividend is in arrears for 4 years. The following scheme of reconstruction was sanctioned by the court and agreed by the shareholders. Before we start, it's preferable that you make this short form on the paper so that you know on what side capital reduction will go. Preference shareholders are to be reduced to rupees 50 each and equity shareholders to rupees 2 each and both being fully paid. Preference shareholders reduce. Guys, preference shareholders reduce, that means the value of liability is going down, right? Value of liability going down, that means capital reduction should be on the credit side. So this will be preference share capital account debit, 10% preference share capital account debit to capital reduction account, right? Being preference shares reduced, right? They are being reduced to rupees 50 each. They are 100 rupees shares, they are reduced to 50, that means they are being reduced by 50 rupees. How many shares do I have? I had preference share capital of 4 lakhs. That means I had 4,000 shares. Someone please do 4,000 into 50. How much? 2 lakhs. Same thing you can do with equity share capital. Equity share capital is liability. It is reduced to 2 rupees. That means the value of liability going down. Value of liability going down, that means capital reduction on the credit side. So this is equity share capital account debit to capital reduction, right? So this is going to be, now at the moment the value of each equity share is 10 rupees, it is reduced to 2 rupees, that means it is being reduced by 8 rupees, right? What's my equity share capital? 1 lakh. I have 1 lakh equity shares, each reduced by 8 rupees, so 8 lakhs. I have 1 lakh, 10 lakh is my equity share capital, each equity share is of 10 rupees. That means I have 1 lakh shares, 8 rupees, it's being reduced by 8 rupees, each share is being reduced by 8 rupees, so 8 lakhs. So being equity shares reduced, right? Next, let's move on ahead. Creditors agreed to reduce their claim by 20,000 and bills payable are to be paid immediately. Creditors, liability going down. Liability going down means capital reduction on the credit side. So this will be creditors account debit to capital reduction. Creditors account debit to capital reduction. They are saying that creditors agreed to reduce their claim by 20,000. 20,000, right? I have to pay them 20,000 rupees less. Being creditors claim reduced. This which we are doing is the D adjustment. Okay? D and C I'll just do, right? And fourth one they are saying is bills payable are to be paid off immediately. Paid. Money is going out. Right? Debit the receiver. Bills payable account debit to bank. So this is your bills payable being paid off immediately. Amount is 35,000. Being bills payable paid. Right? Next, we are doing the B adjustment now. Of the preference dividend in arrears, 3/4 is waived and the balance is paid in cash. Now let's see the working note. Preference share capital is 4 lakhs. Dividend. Right? Preference share capital is 4 lakhs and these are 10% preference shares. And the opening line just below the balance sheet, they have said that it is in arrears for 4 years. So multiply by 4, this would have been my dividend of 1 year. For 4 years, you multiply by 4.
1,60,000.
Right? 1,60,000. They are saying that 3/4 of which is waived. I remember explaining this word to you. Waived means cancelled. Okay? And the balance paid in cash. If 3/4 is waived, that means 1/4 is paid. 3/4 is cancelled. That means 1/4 is paid. So that is 1/4 of 1,60,000. That is 40,000 is paid. Paid. Money is going out. Right? Now we do not have the word preference dividend in the balance sheet. Since you do not have the word preference dividend in the balance sheet, you will not use the word preference dividend in the journal. Instead of that, you will use the word capital reduction. Paid means bank should be on the credit side, so this will be capital reduction account debit. To bank. Amount is 40,000. Being preference dividend paid. Right? So preference dividend has been paid. Now, debenture holders to take over plant and machinery for 6,50,000. Now look at your balance sheet. At the moment, the value of plant and machinery is 6 lakhs. As per the balance sheet, the value of plant and machinery is 6 lakhs. They are taking it over at 6,50,000. That means my value of asset is going up. Asset going up, that means capital reduction on the credit side. So, plant and machinery account debit to capital reduction. It is 6 lakhs as per the balance sheet. They are taking it over for 6,50,000. That means plant and machinery, yes, very good, has been appreciated by 50,000. Being plant revalued. Okay, now let's read the adjustment again. Debenture holders to take over plant and machinery at 6,50,000 in part satisfaction of their claim, and the remaining claim should be converted into 14% debentures. Debit the receiver. Debenture holders are the receiver. So 12% debentures account debit. Since they are the receivers, debentures will come back in. Debentures account debit, leave a line. What are we giving them? Plant and machinery. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. To plant and machinery. Right? Debentures are 7,50,000. Plant and machinery is 6,50,000. Now, about the remaining, they are saying that the remaining claim should be converted into 14% debentures. To 14% debentures. 1 lakh. Being debenture holders claim settled. Right? Next, they are saying that goodwill, patents, profit and loss, and preliminary expenses to be written off. Written off. Assets going down. Assets going down. That means capital reduction on the debit side. So this will be capital reduction account debit to goodwill. Goodwill is, as per the balance sheet, goodwill is 25,000. To patents. Patents is 15,000. To profit and loss. Profit and loss is 8,20,000. and 2 preliminary expenses. Preliminary expenses are given to you as 45,000. Someone please help me calculate this. 8, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 9,05,000.
Yes.
Being assets written off. Right? Next. The following assets are revalued. Furniture 25,000. Now the old value of furniture was 35. It is being revalued at 25. That means it is being reduced. Stock in trade 68,000. Stock was 80. It is being reduced. Land and building 5,80,000. Land and building also reduced. Debtors 80,000. Debtors was 90. All the 4 assets have been reduced. Since all the 4 assets have been reduced, assets going down, that means capital reduction on the debit side. So this is going to be capital reduction account debit. To furniture, to stock, to land and building, and to debtors. Right? Now, furniture was 35, it has become 25, so 10,000. Stock was 80 and it has become 68,000, that means 12,000. Land and building was 650 and it has become 580, that means 70,000. And sundry debtors was 90, it has become 80, so 10,000. Right? Someone please calculate.
1,02,000.
Being assets revalued. Right, next. A secured loan of 1,50,000 at 12% per annum was obtained by mortgaging land and building for repayment of bank overdraft, bills payable and reconstruction expenses. Now first of all, a secured loan was obtained, money is coming in. Debit, what comes in? Bank account debit to secured loan account. Right? We are saying that a secured loan, and this is 12% secured loan of 1,50,000 was obtained. Being loan taken. Next, by mortgaging land and building for repayment of bank overdraft, bills payable and reconstruction expenses. Bills payable we have already paid. Now the only things I have to pay now is bank overdraft and reconstruction expenses. Pay means money will be on the credit side. So bank overdraft account debit. Right? Now I do not have the word reconstruction expenses in the balance sheet. So I cannot use that word in the journal. Instead of that, I'll write capital reduction account debit to bank. Bank overdraft as per the balance sheet is 50,000. Reconstruction expenses they've given you is 15,000. So that will be 65,000. The bank AD and reconstruction expenses paid. Right? Now once your journal is over, then you need to make capital reduction account. Now let's look at your journal. You have capital reduction on the credit side, so buy 10% preference shares, 2 lakhs. Then on the credit side, buy equity shares, 8 lakhs. Then on credit side, buy creditors, 20,000. Then on, no, you don't have capital reduction here. Capital reduction on the debit side to bank, 40,000. Then you have on the credit side, buy plant and machinery, 50,000. Then on the debit side, to goodwill is 25,000. To patents, 15,000. To P&L, 8,20,000. To preliminary expenses, 45,000. Then again you have on the debit side, to furniture, 10,000. To stock, 12,000. To land and building, 70,000. To debtors, 10,000. Then you have capital reduction on the debit side again. To bank, 15,000. Someone help me tally this, guys.
10 lakh
10 lakh
70,000.
70,000.
8,000.
10 lakh 70,000. 8,000 on the debit side, right? This is to capital reserve. Right? Now you need to pass a journal entry for this. Capital reserve on the debit side. So in the journal it will go on the credit side. So this will be capital reduction account debit. To capital reserve, 8,000. Being capital reduction balance. Right? Let's make a balance sheet for this, guys. Balance sheet as on liabilities, rupees, assets, rupees. Right? First you are going to have authorized share capital. Authorized share capital, question mark, tally, question mark, issue and subscribe capital. In that you are going to have 10% preference shares. Now 10% preference share capital is 4 lakhs. You have 10% preference share capital on the debit side. For liability, the rule is add credit, subtract debit. Since it's on the debit side, you will have to subtract this. So 4 lakhs minus 2 lakhs will give you 2 lakh. Right? Next, you have equity share capital. Equity share capital as per balance sheet is 10 lakhs. You have equity share on the debit side 8 lakhs. So subtract 8 lakhs, so this will come out to 2 lakhs again. Then you have reserves and surplus. In reserves and surplus, you will have capital reserve, $8,000. Right. Besides that, is there any other reserve in the balance sheet? No. Then you have secured loan. Under secured loans, you are going to have 12% debentures. 12% debentures are 7,50,000, and in the journal on the debit side they are 7,50,000, so that will become nil. Then you have issued 12% secured loan. It's on the credit side, which is 1,50,000. Right? You have also issued 14% debentures. Of 1 lakh. Right? So 14% debentures of 1 lakh. Next, once secured loan is done, next you have unsecured loans. Not given to you. Then you have current liabilities. In current liabilities, you have bank overdraft. Bank overdraft is 50,000. It's on the debit side. It is 50,000, so nil. Then you have creditors. Creditors are 1,40,000, and creditors are 20,000 here. So that means 1,20,000. It's on the debit side 20,000. So this will become 1,20,000. Next, bills payable. Bills payable is 35,000, and in the journal it is 35,000 on the debit side. So this will be nil. Then you have fixed assets. Amongst fixed assets, you have goodwill. Goodwill is 25,000, and it's on the credit side. Now for assets, the rule is add debit, subtract credit. So this will become nil. Then patents. Again, it's 15,000, and it's 15,000 on the credit side. So nil. Then you have furniture. Furniture is 35,000, and furniture is 10,000 there, so 25,000. On the credit side it is 10,000. Plant and machinery. Plant and machinery is 6 lakhs, and it is on the debit side 50,000, so 6,50,000. Then you have land and building. It is 6,50,000 and 70,000 on the credit side, so 5,80,000. Then you have investments. There are no investments in the sum. Then you have current assets. Right? In current assets, you have stock. Stock is 80,000 and stock is 12, so 68,000. Then you have debtors. Debtors is 90 and debtors is 10 on the credit side, so 80. Then you have bills receivable. Bills receivable, I don't think we have any entry in the journal, no. So that's 15,000. Then you have bank. Right, let's see this. Bank on the credit side 35,000, so minus 35,000. On the credit side 40,000, so minus 75,000. Right. On the debit side 1,50,000, so plus 75,000. And on the credit side 65,000, so 10,000. Fine. Next you have profit and loss. Profit and loss is 8 lakh 20 and 8 lakh 20, that is nil. And preliminary expenses is 45 and on the credit side 45 nil. Tally your balance sheet please. Right, previous check.
Just plant and machinery over there.
Plant and machinery.
So 7th journal entry.
Okay, yeah. Plant and machinery was given away for 6,50,000. That means this is going to be nil.
7
That's
lakh
all the
78.
credit. Huh?
7 lakh 78.
7 lakh
78.
78,000. 7 lakh 78,000. Right? That finishes the sum. We'll stop this here for the day. Thank you very much.